my honey come back. Sometime I wanna rap back Jack. Sometime I get a hump in my back.
23-year-old David Keith started his filmmaking career shooting short films after school. After a few years, David's confidence grew and he decided to start work on his first action movie, Croutons.
My friend had a camera, I had a camera. I knew a group of people that were interested in being in some kind of a movie, and they were young, so they no problem try to get them to turn up. And we just had this one idea. I was learning as we were going along. I didn't even have an editing package by then, so I was actually learning how to cut scenes together just using the pause record button on the camera.
Croutons has brought David immense success, including appearances in local newspapers, winning a film competition in Empire Movie Magazine and getting a job at a production company.
I made some money from it by selling it to TV, firstly, which is always good.
David's new film, Evil Blood, is currently in production.
Right, the new movie that we're working on at the moment, it's kind of going back to the feel of the Croutons films. We're going to try and make a kind of horror, kind of spoof movie. We've shot about 4 or 5 scenes, mostly with an actor called Liam Matheson, who was in my earlier movies, and more recently I've been shooting scenes with an actor called Joseph E. Murphy. This film is going to be completely different to the way I made the other ones because they were all shot with whatever, a DV camera during the day, as in this one's going to be shot with a professional camera. We're trying to take it all now, put it together and make something that is good with no weak points, a completely strong movie from start to finish, edited well, directed well, acted well, and on the whole just make a very good movie.
Up until recently, Aberdeen has not had an appointed person to take charge of the city's film scene. Enter Joyce Ogilvie, a local filmmaker who had her film Tagged shown at the Cannes Film Festival.
Since I had come back from Cannes, which was 2000, I kept going to the council and the Scottish Enterprise Grampian saying, could we please start a film office? It would have made my job much easier, and it would make anybody's job much easier who doesn't know any cameramen, doesn't know any technical crew. Can we start one? It took another 2 years, and then Paul Titler from Scottish Enterprise Grampian, who I happened to meet at a Scottish Screen Day at Brecon Media Centre, said, you know, I actually would like to get a film commission started, and I thought, yahoo!
The Grampian Film Office was officially opened in June 2003, with Joyce appointed to run operations. The main purpose of the Film Office is to help filmmakers find and use locations within the Aberdeen area, and within months the work started pouring in.
The second production, the Peter Mullen one, that was the most difficult thing I've ever had to do. I got a phone call from Scottish Screen from the assistant location woman, Louise, and she said, we have a producer in our office at the moment and she's got nothing. And I said, what do you mean she's got nothing? Well, she's lost all her luggage, she's lost her script, she has no crew, she has no actors, and they start filming in 2 days. The only thing they've got is Peter Mullen.
After a day of non-stop phone calls, Joyce was able to find a suitable director, recruit a local production company and hire all the necessary equipment.
That was the most difficult one because it was only over 2 days. Normally you get 2 or 3 weeks to plan these things, so it was mad. I wouldn't like to repeat that, let me say.
The introduction of a film office to Aberdeen has brought mixed opinions from local filmmakers.
The arrival of the new film office in Aberdeen can only but improve, I suppose, the film industry.
I feel quite sorry for Joyce. She doesn't have Scottish Screen help, she doesn't have funding from them, and she absolutely should have funding from Scottish Screen.
But I mean, whether she gets the financial backing to do this is another story. You know, it all comes down to money. So I hope Scottish Screen as well can see that, you know, until now they've not exactly been supportive of Aberdeen-based films or filmmakers.
And like I say, there's no way she can raise that sort of money. You know, so she's got to do the other thing. She's got to say, come here and film our trees, and we've got nice granite. And good luck to her, but it's not going to change fuck all.
The chances of a local director getting their film funded are slim, and even Joyce admits the arrival of the film office won't change this.
Funding-wise, I can't help them at all. We don't have funds at Grampian Film Office to help develop films, which I would love to see happen in the next 2 or 3 years. I can put them to Scottish Screen and actually help them fill out their application form, but to actually encourage them to make a film, I can only give my enthusiasm for them. Because if they want to make a really professional film, they would actually have to probably pay someone to do that. So as a one-stop shop, I can put them in the right direction, but I can't actually give them concrete funding. I think the film scene in Aberdeen has changed immensely in the last 5 years. I mean, I made Tagged 4 years ago, and I think since then there have been so many more courses opened up for access, for actually professional filmmaking, in the sense of that the courses that are now run at Aberdeen College and RGU.
Yeah, it's changed for the better. I mean, there's a lot of young filmmakers now becoming involved with the game, and I mean, that can only be good. It can only be good for the city, you know. I just wish they would get a bit more backup from sort of local government. I mean, that would be nice to see. I mean, the council hasn't exactly been there in the past for young filmmakers or local filmmakers, you know.
As far as I know, the film scene in Aberdeen hasn't changed at all within the last 5 years, probably never mind the last 10 years. It seems to be getting harder and harder to try and get people to help you make something, and even more harder to try and get some money, almost impossible.
No, the Aberdeen film scene hasn't changed. It's still the same as it was. It's individuals who make it happen.
Filmmakers have been making movies in Aberdeen for many years now, and it's a surprise the film industry isn't as big as it should be. Some people believe that local attitudes are the cause of this.
I feel that a lot of the hierarchies in Aberdeen feel that sort of negotiating or communicating with young filmmakers is beneath them, you know. Cut the bullshit and start speaking with these young guys, because at the end of the day, not only can they sort of promote the city, but you know, they can enhance tourism. I mean, if we can just clear up the political bullshit, then maybe we'll get on with the creative stuff, and maybe we'll see a film coming out of Aberdeen that's worth its weight in gold. But right now,
the City Council and the Shire Council, I think, have to be educated into realising that if you want famous or huge production companies coming here, you've got to put some money into that infrastructure. And I think my job was to try and educate them into realising that, you know, you have to lay out some money to get something here in the first place.
The lack of filmmaking equipment is also detrimental to the growth of the Aberdeen film scene.
You can't say come here and use our facilities, because they're fuck all. We don't have studios up here. Not of the standard needed for feature film development. And what we need is, you know, we need a studio facility, we need avids, we need cameras, you know, we need trainers. It's not just the equipment. Down in Glasgow, they've got this amazing resource of talented people.
Glasgow and Edinburgh have film industries which produce dozens of movies each year and generate thousands of pounds for each of the cities. So why is it that these other Scottish cities have a more successful film industry than Aberdeen?
They have incentive funding. I mean, their budget is in the millions. And if you are making a film in Edinburgh, they will pay you £10,000, for example. I'm not saying that's for every film, to use Edinburgh as a location, plus use a local crew. Glasgow has an even bigger incentive fund.
because they're not small-minded, and Aberdeen is. You know, a lot of people will disagree with that, but Aberdeen has got village mentality. It wants to be a city and it's struggling severely.
I think the reason Glasgow and Edinburgh have a bigger success rate is because there's more of them down there. There's more facilities, there's more money going about.
Well, that's easy because of the infrastructure. You know, when I went down to the comedy unit, right, you walk through the gates and there's two big studios, right there, sound stages. Next door to the sound stages, there's carpenters making props. Across the road, there's a props house with lots of props. BBC trailers, you know, you go into the offices, Avids 1 through 5, right? Now, we don't have anything like that here, you know, and the funding needed to build what they already have there, I mean, it's off the chart. You know, they just couldn't do it. It would be financially infeasible to build what they have down there.